Hi guys, it's Kino. Welcome to another video. So today, as you can see from the title, we're going to be doing a past life reading, and I'm super excited to do this topic because I feel like I haven't really done a past life reading. I've maybe done like one before, but I feel like I've never really done a deep dive into your past life type of reading. So what we're going to be looking at in today's reading is what soul contracts, karma, and lessons have carried over from your previous incarnations into your current one and how it's affecting your life right now. As you can also see from the title, this is going to be a collaboration with Amorinet, aka Cindy, who is one of my dear friends in the tarot community. Not only is she a fantastic tarot reader, but she's also a very, very talented artist. And I have actually gotten several commissions from Cindy because I love her art so much. I really recommend checking her out. She has such a lovely energy. She is so beautiful on the inside out. And she is actually like one of my oldest friends in this community. She was one of the first channels that I really got into and really enjoyed watching when I was getting into tarot. So she holds a very special place in my heart, and I'm really excited to be collaborating with her on this video today. So I want to explain like how the readings are going to go together. In this reading, the one on my channel, we're basically seeing everything from your past lives up until now. So how it's affecting you right now. And in Cindy's reading, she's going to take a look at what we can do from here on out, what we can do going forward. So how can you heal this karma? How can you either release this soul contract or renew it to a more harmonious connection? How can you learn and integrate these lessons so that you can move on freely to the next chapter of your life? So this one is like past until now, and Cindy's reading is like now into the future. So I think that's everything to explain. So let's go ahead and show you guys your options. There are 4 readings for you to choose from today, and each one has a different crystal tower on it to help you pick. In just a second, I'm going to show you each of them close up one by one. For this reading, I do feel called to say, please feel free to watch 2 readings or however many you want. If you feel drawn to more than one, there could definitely be messages for you in several readings. And in fact, maybe it's something like, you know, this one is talking about one past life of yours, this one is talking about another past life. So yes, definitely don't limit yourself to picking just one for today's reading. But without further ado, let's give you a close-up look at each of your options. So for option number 1, we have black quartz. For option number 2, we have moss agate. For option number 3, we have rose quartz. And for option number 4, we have citrine. Okay, so as always, take all the time you need to pick. You can pause the video if you need to. I'm gonna go ahead and get started with number 1. Hi number 1s, so if you guys chose this beautiful black quartz, which I think is also called like Morion or Morion, I'm not sure how to say it, but this is going to be a reading all about your soul contracts, karma, and lessons from your past lives and how they are affecting you in this current lifetime. So the first deck that I want to use in this reading, we're going to pull 3 cards and see what your higher self would like you to know about their overall energy, your energy throughout your past lives, and then your current energy. And I'm using the Likely Tarot to start off, which is a really beautiful deck. I actually just got it recently, and I think this will be the first video that has it. Okay, so for group number 1, what is a card to represent the overall energy of their soul? we have the World, okay? And a card to represent their energy throughout their past lives. We have the Queen of Swords. And a card to represent their energy in this current lifetime. Okay, so we have two. Interesting. We have the Four of Cups and the Emperor coming out together. So two fours coming out together. 4 might be a number that is significant to you guys in this lifetime, or that kind of follows you around, like you see repeating 4s everywhere. And the Emperor is Aries energy, so maybe some of you guys are Aries or you have significant Aries placements. I believe that the 4 of Cups is associated with the sign of Cancer. I will put a subtitle if I'm wrong, but if you don't see a subtitle, then that's what it is. It's Cancer. So let's start over here with the World representing the overall energy of your soul. The first thing that I want to say is that the World is associated with the planet of Saturn as well as fixed signs. So what this tells me is that your soul is very diligent and very responsible, and your soul is very determined to learn the lessons that they set out to learn. And I think that they're like, if I can compare souls to a class or a soul to a student, this is the student who's kind of like a keener. They want to learn everything that there is to learn, and they take their assignments very, very seriously, and they'll be patient and they'll keep trying until they get it right. This fixed sign energy is making me think of someone who is very persistent and very perseverant, and will not give up. So like if you came for an incarnation and there were some lessons that maybe you missed, or maybe we didn't quite perfect the things that we wanted to perfect, we didn't quite overcome or release what we had planned for that lifetime, your soul is like, okay, I want to try again. And even if maybe your spiritual team is like, do you want to go over here for a while and try something else? I feel like your soul is like, no, I'm getting this right. So it's like very determined. I think your soul is very disciplined and just really, really persistent and perseverant. And that might be a trait that you guys actually have as a human in this lifetime. And I do think that if you were really in alignment with your higher self and in alignment with your most authentic energy, these are traits that would come out of you. Like you would be a really hard worker, you would be disciplined, you would be patient. I feel like if you didn't succeed, you would try again and try again. This is the kind of vibe that I'm getting from your soul. And I think that your soul is actually very admired for this. Like again, using the analogy of a class, your soul family would be like your classmates, and I could see your guide, aka your teacher, being like, hey class, you guys should be like group 1. Like look at how hard they're oh my god, wait, I'm having a tongue twister moment. Look at how hard they're working. Look at the effort that they're putting in to make the most of their incarnation and learn the lessons that they set out to learn. It's almost like you would be a model student if the soul world was a classroom. I feel like you go into your incarnations with enthusiasm about what you have to learn, enthusiasm to keep growing and to keep challenging yourself. And it's interesting with the world here, this is a card that can talk about completion, fulfillment, and the end of a cycle. So I do think that in your most recent lifetime, you completed a very significant cycle of lessons, like you mastered something. You mastered some lesson about life that you set out to master. And so perhaps in this lifetime, you're actually starting on a brand new cycle. You're starting with a new lesson. There might be new soul connections that are coming in, new soul contracts that are being made, which is quite interesting. And also with the world, the feeling I was getting is that you guys maybe have had past lives in many, many different parts of the world. Like, because I feel like your soul wants to experience it all. Your soul wants to be very well-rounded. So like maybe I'm gonna go live over here, and then maybe I'm gonna live over here, and maybe I'm gonna incarnate over here, and then maybe I'm gonna be this gender and then that gender. I think your soul wants to like try out everything. And this might be something, again, that carries over to you as a person now. Maybe you have a thirst for travel, a thirst for adventure. Maybe you love to meet and learn from new people. I just feel like your soul has this zest for life and really wants to live to the fullest and really wants to learn and experience everything that there is, which is very wholesome. It's very wholesome and sweet. So I really, really like the energy of your soul. Now, moving into the Queen of Swords energy, this is representing an energy that you took on in your most recent past life or that you have frequently taken on. I do believe that in recent past lives or in your most recent one, you've taken on a role of responsibility. For some reason, the word matriarch is coming to my mind, which, you know, the more casual way to say that I think would just be a mother. But it's like you're the head of something, the ruler of something, whether that's the head of a household or the head of a community. I do believe that maybe you were a female in your most recent life with the Queen of Swords here, or like in your past few lifetimes you've tended to take on a female role. And I think that you're like the mother figure or the authority figure that people respect and that people look up to. And I think that maybe you had a little bit of an intimidating vibe in your past lives. I'm sort of getting the feeling that you were very, very sweet and warm and affectionate at heart to those whom you loved or to those whom you were loyal to. But as an outsider, as someone who didn't know you very well, I feel like you might have had a kind of cold vibe. And I think that this was maybe a way to protect yourself, a protection mechanism or a defense mechanism on your part. I think you definitely had the ability to separate your logic and your emotions. So you could be like, oh, I'm getting a little bit too emotional now, I need to cut that off. Or maybe you had to do that because you were responsible for so many people and you had to keep a sharp mind and you had to make logical and rational decisions. I think you were someone who could stay cool and calm and collected under pressure. But I feel a little bit sad when I'm retelling this, because just because you can do that, it doesn't mean that you should do that. And it doesn't mean that you should have to. Just because you're someone who could stay calm and make rational decisions in a crisis while everyone else is freaking out, you know, that's an ability or a skill that ideally we don't want to have to use. And I think that in your past life, in your recent past lives, or maybe this is even, again, a recurring theme in your current life, you kind of have to like, okay, we have to put that aside. We have to compartmentalize that because we have this task right in front of us. We have these people to take care of. This isn't going to take care of itself. So it's like we kind of have to set aside my vulnerability right now. We kind of have to set aside my sadness right now. I got to take care of my children. I have to take care of my siblings. I have to take care of my friends. I have to take care of my village. It was something like that. You had to be that very strong ruling figure. You had to be that voice of reason. Like, what do we do? You had this kind of leadership role. And the people who knew you very well, I think, could see this going on. They knew that you were this like sweet, soft, vulnerable being on the inside, and they could see, wow, you're being really, really strong for us. Like, you're doing this for us. But I think you could have been misunderstood by people on the outside. People on the outside might have said that you are like cold, or even some people could have spun this narrative about you that you're like domineering, like this cold, icy, scary. I feel like you were wildly, I want to use the word wildly, misunderstood for being this like cold person. But it's like people didn't understand. You had to keep it together because there was so much weight on you. There was so much pressure on you. Like, why don't you try being put in this position of so much responsibility and see how you do and see if you don't fall apart? So you really had to be strong and hold it together. This is something that you've experienced in your past lives. If this sounds like your current life, then it may be something that has carried over. But now we're moving into the energy of you. Oh my gosh, I just looked up and saw 44 on the camera timer. It was at like 44 seconds, and we have double fours here. 4 might be a very lucky number for you guys in this lifetime. It might be a number that follows you around. You could have been born in April, or like on the 4th of a certain month, or maybe you're a life path 4. It could be that as well. Well, we have the Four of Cups and we have the Emperor. It's interesting. I feel like in this life, you guys will be called into a leadership position, or you will feel called to step into a leadership position, but I feel like it's going to be much more peaceful than previous times around. It's going to be much less stressful. When I look at this Four of Cups, when I see the water trickling, it gives me a very leisurely vibe. And water also has this feeling of going with the flow. The number 4 has this feeling of structure. Everything is taken care of. Everything is solid. I feel like a lot of your amazing qualities that you've developed in past lives, such as leadership, discipline, structure, being a hard worker, being dedicated, you're really gonna get to embody those and use these in your current lifetime, but under circumstances that are much less stressful. So maybe something that you guys have like accomplished and are leaving behind is these lessons about staying composed under pressure, these lessons about being responsible for many people. And I feel like more in this life, yes, you're in charge, but you're in charge of yourself. It's like you don't have to worry about so many things. You get to use these. Oh, interesting. It's like the word victory lap just came to my mind. It's like you've been through all of these tough lessons to cultivate these qualities in you, and this is a lifetime where now you just get to enjoy them. It's kind of like the last day of school where like we just get to have fun. Like you've worked so hard to bring these amazing qualities to yourself, and this is not a lifetime where we're gonna keep testing you and we're gonna keep giving you harsh lessons. This is your chance to use these qualities on yourself and use these qualities to cultivate pleasure in your life. It's like you get to enjoy the fruits of your labor. So I think one thing that you guys might be doing in this lifetime is building your own empire, building your own version of success, building your own dream life, and really living for yourself and really putting yourself first. And you might have anxieties associated with that kind of leak in from your past lives of like, I need to be taking care of other people, I need to be putting other people's interests before my own. And you feel, it's almost like you feel anxious when you don't do that. But in this lifetime, you're learning it's okay. It's okay to let your guard down now. It's okay to relax. It's okay to live for yourself. Keep going, building your empire. Keep going, living your dream life. I think that this life can be very, very fulfilling for you. Ooh, that's amazing. Okay, so the next deck that I want to use is the Starlight Frequencies Oracle. We're going to take couple from this deck. Okay, we have downloads. Open your senses to receive. Activations are inbound. Let white light flow through you to open your channel further. It's interesting that we have the number 28 here because we were talking about this lifetime being the start of a new cycle for you. 28 reduces to 1, which, as maybe you've guessed, is a number that talks about new beginnings. 28 could also be a significant age for you guys in this lifetime, or a Saturn return. So around late 20s or late 50s could also be a very significant age for you. But I also like this message of open your senses to receive. I do feel that you've given so much in your previous lifetimes, and it's time for you to receive. It's time for your hard work to pay off and for you to enjoy the fruits of your labor. And then we also have Truth Seeker. Strengthen your intuitive senses and lift the veil from your mind's eye for a clearer connection to source. 42 could be a significant age in this lifetime as well. And looking at the pyramids on this card, if you guys might have had a past life in Egypt, or you have lived in ancient Egypt before. And also the past life version of you maybe had very striking blue eyes or like a striking light color eyes, I do believe that you would have had psychic abilities in your previous lifetimes. I wonder if, interesting, you could have had past lives where you were some sort of oracle, or you were some sort of medium, or you were a psychic who worked for the elite, like worked for high up people, and they would ask for your insights into like, what should we do, I don't know, economically or politically, or, and you had to kind of help a community, or in some cases I even want to say like help a nation or help a community through tough times and bring them answers, which is obviously not an easy thing to do. I just feel like in past lives there was so much pressure put on you to exercise your talents and to exercise your strengths. And in this life, you're claiming those back for yourself with the Emperor. This is about you being in charge of your own life, you getting to use these for yourself. You guys could have even been, the word ghostwriter just came to my mind. You could have been somebody's ghostwriter in a previous life. Like, with you guys being a woman, there was a time in history where like, oh, a woman doing great things? Nope, that was a man. So you could have been like the ghostwriter for a man, or you could have been the brains behind a man who was a prominent figure, and the man got all of the credit. And in this lifetime, it's your turn to take the credit. It's your turn to get all of the glory. You're not using... It's like people are not stealing away your talent or stealing away your gifts. It's for you. It's meant for you. Wow. Okay, and the next deck that I want to use, these are the Universal Oracle cards. Ooh, okay. We have communication, connect, reach out, speak, and listen. Ooh. And we have innocence, unconditioned, trusting, vulnerable, and pure. Yep, this is a lifetime where you guys can soften up. You can soften up again. You can be vulnerable again. I think it's interesting that we have these two hearts that are connected. And when it came to the cards representing you in this current incarnation, we had two cards fall out at the same time. So there may be a very, very significant soul that you incarnated with in this lifetime, sort of like you came down together, or you made the decision to come down together. And this is someone that you would have a very, very, very close bond with. For some of you, I feel like this might be a sibling, like if you have a sibling that you're really, really, really close with. It could definitely also be a romantic connection, but there's a lot of focus on the heart in these cards, and you know, being able to soften up, being able to be very emotionally intimate with somebody. And I feel like you and this other soul are very, very similar in terms of your temperament. It's funny, the Queen of Swords and the Emperor are two people, or animals in this case, in the tarot that I feel can be kind of intimidating to an outsider. And then I see this teddy bear, and when I think of someone being a teddy bear, it's like, oh, you're a softie on the inside. So I feel like what you and this other soul share in common is that you might seem kind of rough around the edges, or kind of quiet, or kind of serious, but you're actually like a silly soft teddy bear on the inside. If you were born with this person, so if this is somebody in your family, I feel like you'll have a really, really close bond from the get-go. But if this is someone that you meet later in life, there might be an initial stage where you feel kind of intimidated by this person, or it feels like they're kind of out of your league, and they might feel the same way about you. And then once you get to know each other, you're like, oh, we're both just like cornballs on the inside. We're both just teddy bears on the inside. But I think there's like one very specific connection that is coming up here, which is interesting, because now we're going to get into the part that talks about your soul contracts and things of that nature. So we're going to switch up the deck again. This is the True North Tarot. Which is actually made by the same creator as this Starlight Frequencies deck. As always, all of the decks are going to be linked down below. I'm trying to think of what to do for this part of the reading because we want to look at soul contracts, karma, and lessons. But I don't know if I should be so rigid, like this card is going to be for that, this card is going to be for that. I might just leave it open. Okay, what else does group number 1 need to know about their past lives and how it's affecting them now? So we have the 2 of coins. Yeah, there's like a set of 2. There's a group of 2. There's a significant soul contract. We have the Magician, the Ace of Swords, the Knight of Wands. Woo! The Queen of Wands. And then at the bottom of the deck, we have the Queen of Swords again. So if you guys, oh no. I hate when that happens. When little like candle ash gets on stuff and then you try to wipe it and it just smears like the black ashes even more. Okay, Queen of Swords. For those of you who read your own tarot, well, actually, you don't have to read your own tarot, but in further readings that you do for yourself or in further readings that you hear, if the Queen of Swords shows up in your reading, I do feel like it's likely talking about you. The fact that this has come out twice, I feel like this is kind of the card that your higher self might use to represent you. So whether you're like shuffling your own cards and this comes out, or maybe you're watching a different, like pick a card reading and the Queen of Swords comes out, I think that it's about you. Now, the Queen of Swords, another thing that it tells me is about, oh, there's a lot of things that the Queen of Swords talks about. The thing that I wanted to mention first is about boundaries. I think boundaries might be a very, very big theme for you guys in this lifetime, because one of your lessons is learning how to take all of your amazing qualities, all of your amazing talents, and all of your energy, and to use it on yourself and to use it on your own pleasure, and to kind of unlearn this thing that like, if it's not serving someone else or if it's not needed by someone else, then it's not useful. What if it's just making you happy? What if it's just serving you? What if it's just advancing you? You're also someone, and so like you're just as much of someone as another person is someone. Your fulfillment matters too. Your needs and desires matter too. I think this is a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime. And I think that until you really feel that and until you really believe that to be true, you might struggle a lot with boundaries in this lifetime. Like if you're putting other people's convenience, other people's expectations, even just like other people's whims, such simple things, before your own happiness, before your own needs. And I don't remember where I was going with that sentence. But anyway, I think this is a challenge that you guys might have in this lifetime. And learning how to build yourself up to the point where you're like, I'm going to do this because it makes me happy. And that's all that matters. I'm going to do this because it's pleasurable to me, or because it serves me, or because it brings me forward on my journey. And that's just as much of a good reason. And in fact, it's a better reason than doing all of that for somebody else. And I think it's really cool that we have the Queen of Wands next to this as well, because the Queen of Wands is like knowing that you're the shit. It's being confident. It's owning your talent. It's owning your beauty. This is the energy that you guys are cultivating in this lifetime. I am getting the feeling that you will have some kind of self-made in this lifetime, or some kind of self-started in this lifetime. So you might be a self-made success, self-made millionaire, or become very successful from a self-started project. And I say that because We have 2 queens and we have an emperor. So you're very much staying in a leadership position. I think right from the get-go, I knew your soul is somebody who is always taking initiative and always doing their best. And whatever world you incarnate in, whatever dimension you pop into, like, you stand out. The world means that you stand out. You're being admired. There's eyes on you. Same with the Queen of Wands. One thing about you guys is you're very, very attractive. You may realize that. You may already know that. You may not know that yet. But there's no unattractive people in this group. You're all attractive queens, all attractive people. The Queen of Wands does not lie, and there's something about you that is radiant. There's something about you that stands out. And another lesson in this lifetime is for you guys to really, really let that light shine even more. The Knight of Wands is also about building confidence. But yes, the Magician is what gives me this feeling of being self-started, or self-made, independent in some way. We do have the 2 of Coins right next to it. So you might have, you know, like your regular job, your day job, and then also have something that you do on the side, like a passion project, a creative project, your own business. There might be a lot of times in your life where you're juggling many different things, and kind of learning how to prioritize that. If you did want to fully live off of your own projects and fully live off of your own passions, that's definitely something that you can do in this lifetime with the Magician here. Another thing about you guys is that you are amazing manifestors. We see very clearly with these 2 oracle cards that you have a strong connection to source, that you have a strong connection to your higher self. And I think that you guys, when you infuse passion into your intentions, you can literally manifest anything. The Magician means that anything is possible for you. Anything that you can dream up, you can do it. I also think that you guys are very multi-talented. The butterfly is giving me shapeshifter vibes. It's also giving me adaptable vibes. And we see you over here with the 2 of Pentacles, juggling different things too. You're talented in many, many different things, and I think your creativity knows no bounds. I would say for you guys, your purpose in this lifetime is to be creative, is to create things, is to build your empire, but there's no rules in that. So your creativity could express itself in many different ways. It could be through making music, it could be through making videos, it could be through making recipes, it could be through making stories, making scripts, making art, like visual art. There's so many different ways that it can come through. And I think that one piece of advice for you is to not put pressure on yourself to like jam all of your creativity into one discipline, or say like this one discipline is my calling, this one method of creativity is my calling. I think that your calling is just to be creative, period. And I think that you shouldn't limit yourself to how that comes out. If you want to be a painter slash musician slash photographer slash YouTuber, like, do it all. This is a lifetime where you can do it all. You can be anything with this Magician. You can be anything with this butterfly. Of course, that will take a little bit of prioritizing skills and organization skills, but you can do it. And don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. Another thing that I want to tell you guys with the Ace of Swords here is that you can manifest with a lot of specificity. So if you get very clear and very detailed about what you want to manifest, the universe will come through. You could be like, I want to manifest a brown dog with gray ears and hair that is 3 inches long and is 2 feet high. I don't know if such a dog exists, but if you get very specific like this with what you want, the universe is going to respond to you. Definitely. And I love that we have a crown on this card as well. And this point of the sword above the crown is like, ding! I feel like this is your crown chakra. I feel like this is your connection to source. You guys are very, very connected, and I feel like you should be more proud of that and more confident about that, because you've had this gift. You've had this gift for many, many lifetimes. You've been awake, you've been psychic for many, many lifetimes. So let's talk a little bit about this soul connection. The first thing I want to say right off the bat is that the two of you are equals and the two of you are very similar. But there's certain points in this journey, in this life, where it may not seem that way. With this Two of Coins, with this feeling of something being juggled, there's going to be points in this journey where you feel like this person is above you, or this person feels like you're above them. And you struggle with this feeling of like, we are both equal, we are both the same, we are both one. And I think it comes from a place of like fear or insecurity or like unfairly judging yourself. And it's so interesting that we had that message about like not forcing your talent into one box. And the Queen of Swords is also about like being open and not taking yourself too seriously. Let's say you guys are like a very, very creative person, but you have this very, very rigid idea of like, I need to be a guitar player. Like, this is what I need to do. I need to be a guitar player. This is my calling in this lifetime. If you put so much serious pressure on that, it's not uncommon to start associating your worth with that and associating your whole talent or your whole creativity or your whole value on your ability to play the guitar, which is really just one facet of you. And then if this other person happens to be particularly good at the guitar, then you're going to have this idea in your head that they're better than you. And you can do this with anything. You could do this with like how much money you have. That's just one facet of you. But if you put too much importance on that, immediately someone who has more money than you, you're going to think, oh, they're above me, they're better than me, they're out of my league. Or I don't know, freaking like how tall you are, what you look like, how many followers you have, like how good you are at this thing or that thing. I feel like you have some standard for yourself that is like too narrow or too unfair, or you put too much importance on it. And if you're just viewing you and this other person through that lens, like, of course you might feel like they're above you, and they might be doing the same thing to you, just with something else. And so I feel like there's this period where you guys can't really realize no one's out of anyone's league, or like there's no leagues to begin with. We are just souls expressing ourselves, and we're multifaceted, and there's no way to compare us because we are one and the same. So I feel like this is a connection where, and it could kind of make sense if it's like a sibling connection, because I feel like there can be sometimes this like competitiveness, not like sibling rivalry, but competitiveness or comparison that comes with it, where you're like, oh, my sibling's really good at that and I'm not. It's like, yeah, but you're really good at this other thing too, which is equally as important. But of course, this can be someone you meet later on in your life, but I think that's like a big lesson that you will be learning in this lifetime. And I think your goal with this person is to understand that you're equals and to come together as equals and possibly even create something together, possibly even work on something together. Ooh. I really like this energy for you guys. This lifetime, I think you're going to create a lot of beautiful things, and I think you're really going to learn how to live for yourself and how to really like play by your own rules. You're also going to learn how to stand up for yourself and to say no when you want to say no, and say like, your convenience is not my biggest problem. Your expectations of me is not my biggest problem. I am my biggest responsibility, and I am my biggest love. And I am too big and multifaceted and beautiful to be judged by these arbitrary one-dimensional standards, and I cannot be compared to anybody else. And like this, you can have a harmonious connection with this other soul. And you came down together. You may not have necessarily come down at the exact same time, but it was a decision that you made together. And with this communication here, I feel like you can always communicate with this person at any time, with the Ace of Swords here as well. So there is some kind of telepathy going on here. We have downloads right next to this. These cards emphasizing your connection to the beyond, so to speak. Yeah, so even if you weren't born with this person, even if you start off not knowing them, they're always kind of there. You're always communicating with them. And you'll have to understand that the voice in your head that judges you is in no way a reflection of them. When their higher self speaks to you, it will always feel comforting and reassuring and unconditionally loving. And anything of like, I'm not good enough for you, I'm not this enough, I'm not that enough, they're gonna think XYZ of me, that's not coming from them. If it doesn't feel like a teddy bear, if it doesn't feel pure, that's not it. That's not coming from them. So yeah, overcoming those insecurities and overcoming those comparisons, that's a lesson for this lifetime as well. I'm curious, let's see what type of connection was this in your most recent life? We have the Sun and the Hermit. I just heard like neighbors. I think it's coming from the fact that like this is Leo energy, this is Virgo energy, and Leo and Virgo are like next to each other in the zodiac. I feel like in your past life you were neighbors, like you lived in the same neighborhood with this person or the same village. I don't know why the word village is coming to my mind so much. And I think that you knew each other since you were really, really young. I don't think you were siblings. I think this is like childhood best friend energy. This soul that we're looking at in this lifetime, I think your previous connection was like childhood best friends. And I think that you guys were both kind of the black sheep of your family. And maybe for a lot of you, you might not meet this person until later in this lifetime. Because what I'm seeing is that in your past lives, you kind of knew each other forever. And you kind of saw each other's vulnerable side from the get-go. And you were like innocent children. There was no need, like you never felt like you weren't good enough or like you were competing or like you were comparing. I feel like maybe in this lifetime, you kind of come together later when you've become adults and when your ego has developed and you start to feel like, am I in this person's league? Am I good enough for them? So it's a little bit of a different dynamic, but your souls are definitely very, very close. Like literally, I just noticed these are two major arcana. These are two major arcana. So this is a very, very, very significant connection. We also have 1, if we reduce this, and 9. So from 1 to 9, that means A to Z. Like you've seen it all together. You've seen it all together. You've been through everything. Bears could be significant. It could be like a nickname, like Teddy Bear, or and my name is Carrie, so like Care Bear used to be my nickname. Or bears could be a significant spirit animal for you. Or if you see an image of a bear, especially teddy bear, it could be that this person is thinking about you or trying to send you a telepathic message. But all I see here is unconditional love. That's all I see here. So any insecurities that are seeping in, any like, I'm not good enough, I don't deserve this connection, I'm not good enough for this connection, anything like that, that's your fears getting to you. That would never come from this person's energy. That would never be something that they exude, I think is the word. But yeah, nothing but love here. Okay, so group number 1, these are all the messages. Strength is at the bottom, and just in case you guys don't know, which probably you don't, but, or maybe you do. Strength is my like personal interpretation is 2 souls that are best friends. Like soul best friends. So we also have the Ace of Coins underneath. So there could be, you could be working together or making something together. 111, 11 and 1, 111. We have 1 1 here too. And 1 here also. And one here also. Yeah, this lifetime is the start of a new cycle for sure. In a good way, a good new cycle. A less stressful, a more fun cycle for you. So group number 1, these are actually now all the messages that I have for you. So I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and definitely check out Cindy's video as well. Just to recap, that reading will be about everything that's happening from now into the future. So how can you learn these lessons? How can you heal? How can you renew this soul contract and have a harmonious connection? What is your future going to be like? That's everything that will be covered in Cindy's part of the reading. So if you guys are interested in checking that out, there will be a link down below. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below for you as well. And I also have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below too. Group number 1, I'm sending so much love to you, to your soul best friend, to your spiritual team. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number 2s. So if you guys chose the Moss Agate, this is going to be a reading all about your soul contracts, karma, and lessons from past lives and how they are affecting you in this lifetime. So we're going to start off the reading with this tarot deck right here. This is the Likely Tarot, and we're going to pull 3 cards from this deck. There will be 1 to represent the overall energy of your soul, 1 to represent the energy of your past lives, and 1 to represent your current lifetime. In this part of the reading, it's quite possible that what I'm describing in terms of your past lives and your past energy sounds quite a bit like what you're going through right now, or sounds like who you are now. If that is the case, then it just means that the energy has carried over quite a bit from your past lives now. So, for group number 2, to start off, what would be a card that represents the energy of group number 2's soul? Okay, we have the 4 of Pentacles, a card to represent group 2's past life energy, the Ace of Cups, and to represent the energy of their current incarnation. We have the Knight of Wands. Okay, so I'm going to start here with the 4 of Pentacles, representing your soul's energy. And it's funny, this is kind of similar to a message that was in group 1 as well, but I feel like your soul is very, very persistent and very perseverant. I also think your soul is incredibly loyal. So if your soul forms a bond with somebody, they would like fight to the death for them, or they would remain with them, they would stay with them, they would do anything for them. I feel like your soul is very, very loyal. It's interesting too, like sometimes before filming readings, I kind of see in my mind's eye, I imagine myself filming and I imagine certain cards coming out. This was actually one of them, and it's so cool for me when that happens. But I got this message that if the 4 of Pentacles were to come out in this spot, this would indicate that there's something that your soul right now is really, really fixated on. It's like there's something that your soul has been trying to attain, or trying to make something happen, or trying to achieve something over many lifetimes. And it's like trying again and again and again. And with this Ace of Cups here, I feel like it has to do with some sort of some sort of emotional fulfillment. What I'm being shown with the Ace of Cups here is that this is not something that is like shallow or something that is purely materialistic. It might have to do with a career goal, but what this Ace of Cups is telling me is that for your soul, it's not about like becoming wealthy or becoming successful. It's about finding some emotional fulfillment. It's about finding some happiness. It's about finding some inner peace. And I actually think for many of you, this might have to do with finding love. So there could be a very significant soul connection that your soul is really, really fixated on. Or it could even be the connection with yourself. Like your soul is really fixated on like, how can I cultivate self-love on this earth? How can I cultivate self-love as a human on this earth? Or how can I find my inner peace as a human on this earth? Which I'm sure you guys know, we all know that that's not an easy feat on this earth. But this Four of Pentacles makes me feel like your soul is like dead set on something, on achieving some sort of emotional goal or some sort of emotional fulfillment in this lifetime. Like I said, it could definitely be career related, but I'm more so getting the feeling that this has to do with like some kind of finding self-love, finding inner peace, or as I mentioned before, like making a certain relationship work or having a certain happy and harmonious union. This is the vibe that I'm getting with the Ace of Cups. This is a card that talks about new beginnings in love. So I do think it has something to do with love. Now moving on to the Knight of Wands here, this is the energy of your current incarnation. And I think it's kind of interesting that we don't actually have a knight on this card. We just have a horse. So in this incarnation, I feel like you guys, your soul chose to have more of a life path that is ruled by your own free will. I personally believe this is something that souls decide before coming down for their incarnation. So even if somebody's life is really, really guided by fate or determined by fate, I believe that that's also something they would have decided with their own free will before incarnating. Like, I want destiny to play a big role in my life. I want fate to play a big role in my life. And I think that your soul, before coming to this incarnation, decided that they wanted to be more independent. They wanted to use their free will more. And so if you guys ever find like you're not receiving a lot of guidance, or maybe like your spirit guides aren't stepping in and advising you on what to do when you wish that they would, it may have to do with some sort of contract that you will be independent, that you will learn how to trust your own inner guidance, that you will act on your own free will, rather than waiting for some kind of direction. And it doesn't mean that your guides aren't there. It doesn't mean that your spiritual team is not there. They're always there to protect you. They're always there to send you love. But it's kind of like a teacher who knows that you know the answer. So they're not just going to feed it to you, because that wouldn't be helping you grow. They're like, no, you know this. Come on. Like, you know the formula. We studied this before. Or you have the critical thinking skills, or you have the processing skills, or the calculating skills to get this answer on your own. I know you do. And if I just tell you, I'm taking away that opportunity from you. So I feel like you have more freedom and independence in this lifetime. And you know what made me think that is that the horse doesn't have a knight riding it and telling them where to go, as we would normally see in this card. This horse is free to go wherever they want. There is no saddle, there's no reins, I think is what they're called. Like, this horse is free. And this card is also about finding confidence and believing in yourself and going after what you want. And I think a big lesson for you guys, a big lesson for you guys in this lifetime, and that's why the horse is facing towards the Ace of Cups. It's like when you guys love something or someone, when you want something or someone, a lesson for you is to trust that like the fact that I want this is reason enough to go for it, is reason enough to give it a shot, rather than waiting for that green light from a spirit guide or from the universe. Like, is this something that I should really go for? Is this something that is in alignment with my highest good? Can I go pursue this? Is it okay? Like, can I go do it? And it's like your spiritual team or your higher self, what they're working on with you in this lifetime is to take that initiative and to validate your desires and to validate your passion and go and get it for yourself. It's like you're in your own house and you're asking like, hey, can I go to the fridge and get a drink? Or like, can I go to sleep now? Or like, can I eat now? It's like, man, you're in your house. Like, and you're an adult, like, do what you want to do. There's this feeling of like, feeling like you need to ask the universe for permission or ask your spiritual team if this is the right thing to do. And it's almost like, I could almost say this is some form of self-sabotage. That's the word that's coming through. I guess because if you just went for it, there's the possibility that you try to make it work and it doesn't work out. It's like if you go for it on your own, then the pressure to make it work is on you. I feel like that's the way you're reasoning it in your mind. So let's say this is a relationship that your soul and the other soul really want to work out. So you're in this lifetime and you feel really, really drawn to this person. Something about them just like lights up your heart and soul. In that moment, what your higher self wants to learn is that emotion that's been stirred within you, that love and that joy that's bubbled up within you, that in itself is your sign to go for it. The fact that you're lit up in the way that you are, the fact that you feel so passionate, that in itself is the sign. That in itself is the indication of destiny here. And I feel like what you might be doing in this example is like, hey, spirit guides, what do you think about this person? Is this someone I should go for? Is this my soulmate? Is this whatever? Are you sure? Are you sure? Because I don't know. Is it okay for me to like this person? Is it okay for me to hope? And I feel like this is something that you're coming out of. This is something we're trying to break in this lifetime. And so you've come into this role of like, in this life, we're taking initiative. In this life, we're a go-getter. In this life, we're using our free will to find our emotional fulfillment. And we're saying the fact that I feel this way, the fact that I feel this desire and this passion and this joy, that is a sign, that is my green light. And I don't have to wait for that from someone else or look to the outside to tell me what to do. And I always feel a level of irony when I say this in a tarot reading, because like I'm an outside person giving advice, but I'm telling you not to rely on the external signals. It's looking within and using your own will and using your own passion to go after what you want. So if there's anything you feel strongly about in this lifetime, that you feel love towards, that you feel a pull towards, that you feel a longing towards, that is your sign. That is reason enough to give it a try and see how it goes. And that requires confidence. And that requires boldness. I think it's scarier, or it can be scarier to believe in yourself than to believe in the universe or believe in fate or believe in a spiritual team. Because believing yourself and acting from yourself, that takes a responsibility. There's that feeling of like, it's on me to go and get my happiness, or to at least try, so that I know I did everything I can. So your lesson in this life is being a go-getter and embracing your free will and not being paralyzed by it. So this next deck that we're using is the Starlight Frequencies Oracle. This is also a very beautiful deck. Woo! Okay, we have Galactic Federation of Light. Processing the energy of the world, unity is required to shift into higher dimensional frequencies. So I feel like this card is coming out to just confirm, like, you're absolutely not alone. Absolutely not. Galactic Federation sounds like a very, very large group of souls. I think that you guys have an absolutely massive soul family. I think a lot of them are not incarnated on Earth right now. Some of them are. And some of them might pop down every now and then, you know, as like a little bird, or come in and say hi to you and then pop back out. I feel like a lot of them do not have a fixed base on Earth. is how they might word it. So if you guys ever feel lonely, if you ever feel a strange longing for home, this could be why. Like, very many of your soul family members are not on earth at this time, and perhaps a lot of your soul family members that you were with in recent lifetimes, they might not be here. So like those who were, you know, your family, your best friends in your past life, they might be off on some other planet right now. They're still with you and they're still communicating with you all the time. But that might account for, or that might explain why maybe sometimes you feel like lonely on this earth, or you feel a little pang in your heart, if that's the right word, that you can't explain. But you're not alone at all. They're always, always with you. You can always reach out to them. You guys might actually talk to them a lot in your dreams, whether you remember or not. I feel like you go visit them when you're dreaming, and you guys have the ability to astral project. I'm not sure if you already do that, or if you're trying to do that right now, but they're like, oh, you can come see us anytime you want. Like, we're not separated at all. It's like we're just living in different parts of town. We're over here in this galaxy, but you can come see us whenever you want, because you're not tied to this physical body. And we have illumination. That's so funny. In this deck, the sun card is also like the sun is a slice of orange, because it came out in group 1. So I remember. Shine your light upon those who cannot see. So I'm getting a little bit of light worker vibes from this group. And I'm getting the vibe that your journey, this journey that you're going through here, is going to be inspiring to many, many people. This soul connection journey, this journey to self-love, this is going to be inspiring to many people. Okay, so now I want to take a couple cards from the Universal Oracle deck, see what other themes we can get from your past lives. Union. Yeah. This is some sort of union. This is some sort of love connection, or some sort of emotional connection. Unity, oneness, and merging. And expansion, growth and progress. Ooh, union and expansion. Okay, and this may be a confirmation that you taking on a more independent role in this lifetime is really, really helping with your expansion. Perhaps living a life that is guided by fate and destiny is a lesson that you've already mastered, because there's definitely a lesson in that as well, like a lesson of surrender, a lesson of trust. But in this lifetime, you're more so learning to trust yourself, learning to trust your own judgment, and trust that your emotions are guiding you to the right place. Something that you guys might struggle with in this lifetime is like, I'm getting carried away with my emotions, or thinking that your emotions are clouding your judgment when they're actually your most ideal compass. You guys might have dealt with in past lives, or in this lifetime, someone like invalidating your emotions, or making you feel like your emotions are not a good guide for you and that you shouldn't pay attention to them because they're wrong. Someone trying to convince you that that what you feel is not valid, the reality that you experience is not valid, and like along the way you've learned to doubt your own emotions. Your emotions hold very valuable information for you, and the more you listen to them and the more you follow them and see where they lead you, the more you will learn from them and develop this strong relationship with them. Free will is a big theme in this lifetime, and it's going to lead to your expansion. Okay, so I don't know why I'm noticing this, but there's a lot of like union, federation, illumination, expansion. Like, it's on. There's a lot of on. We're always here. We're always with you. The channels are always open. 31 and 24 could also be significant ages for you in this lifetime. Also 41 if we put these together. Or I guess it could also be the ages of 1 and 4, but I'm not sure how much of that you would remember. So 24, 31, and 41. All right. What else does group number 2 need to know about their past lives and how it's affecting them now? We have the Chariot, the 8 of Swords, that makes a lot of sense. The Ace of Wands, the 10 of Wands, Temperance. Oh, and wait, I already started shuffling the deck. I was gonna put this as a bottom of the deck energy, but I already started shuffling. So let's just shuffle and take one more. Then we have the 2 of Coins. Okay. So yes, to me, the Chariot and the 8 of Swords next to it does make a lot of sense, because the Chariot, like the Knight of Wands, is also very much a go for it card. I am kind of getting counterpart energy from this group, because we do have this yin and yang symbol here, a masculine and a feminine side. We have this union card. This person could be living far away from you right now, because we do have like the wing of an airplane on this card. So it could be a long distance situation. Some of you maybe have not met this person yet as well, because there was also that feeling of like you guys missing something that you don't know yet, or feeling a longing for something that you don't know yet. So this person could be far away, or it could be like you haven't met them yet, or haven't met them in person yet, or there's some sort of distance between you right now. But the Chariot is this card that encourages us to go for it. And I used to use this interpretation a lot, like a couple years ago, I think, and then I kind of stopped using it maybe. But something that does come to me with the Chariot is like, let's go for it and see how it plays out. Because with the white creature and the black creature, there's a feeling of like, it could go this way, it could go that way, it could turn out well, it could turn out not well. But what we're not going to do is leave that to what ifs. When there is a chance for you to experience your greatest happiness and your greatest emotional fulfillment, we can't sit back and have all of these what ifs. We can't sit back and wonder what could have been. And I think something you're learning in this lifetime is like, it's better to go for it and have it not work out, so at least you can know, and at least you can say, I did my best, I did what I could, and it didn't work out, and now I can move on with my life, rather than never going forward at all and constantly wondering, what could have happened if I just put myself out there? What could have happened if I just taken action? What could have happened if I just reached out? And there's this feeling, I don't know if you guys heard that, but some guy just yelled outside. He was just like, ah! So maybe that was a confirmation. But with the 8 of Swords, there's this feeling of like, if you don't go after this thing or this person or whatever it is that makes you happy, there's always going to be this feeling of what ifs. And I really feel right now like you guys are holding yourself back. For the 8 of Swords to come out after the Chariot, it's like your own mind and your own mentality is blocking you from moving forward. And there was that feeling previously in the reading of, you know, your mind getting in your own way. Even the word self-sabotage was coming out. This constant like double checking for confirmation, double checking for a green light. And even I feel like maybe you guys have gotten many confirmations of like, yes, this is it. This is what's going to make you happy. This is your emotional fulfillment. This is your union. This is the joy that is waiting for you. Go for it. Believe in it fully. Have hope for it. Take action towards it. Keep affirming it to yourself. And even so, it's like you keep searching for that confirmation. And I'm the first person to say that there is no shame in asking for confirmation 1,000,000 times. But you can also be moving at the same time. If you're walking along your path and you're like, hey, spirit guide, is this the right path? Yes, okay, and then keep going. You can keep asking your spirit guides and angels, like, am I in the right path? Is this right? 1,000,000 times, and they will not get annoyed with you. Your guides are infinitely patient with you. But the problem is when you let that need for confirmation stop you from ever taking the first step altogether. And I feel like in this group, this might be something that is happening, and this might be something that has gotten in your way in previous lifetimes. Like never having this passion in your heart, but never even getting it off the ground because you're so concerned with, is this the right thing to do? Is this the right path for me? And there are some things in life, there's a lot of things in life where you just have to go for it. And if it's the right path, you'll keep going. If it's not the right path, you'll learn from it. But you have to try, you have to take that action. That's your independence, that's your initiative. And your mind is definitely, like, you're holding yourself back from so much joy here. With the Ace of Wands, there's definitely an exciting, I really like that we have the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. There's definitely potential for a beautiful new beginning in this lifetime. And I often think of the Ace of Wands as like a world that was once black and white. We're now seeing it in the most vivid color. So it's like joy beyond your wildest dreams, joy beyond your imagination that is waiting for you in this lifetime. A life of passion. Okay. There's a message coming through here. There's a message coming through here with these cards. And taking inspired action is another big lesson for you guys in this lifetime. This is not so much about just taking action for the sake of taking action, but when you feel that spark, when you feel that passion, to trust it and go for it. This is about validating your emotions as a sign that it's time to move forward. So like if you feel really good about something, move towards it. If you don't feel good about something, move away from it. And it sounds very like straightforward, and it might sound kind of silly when I'm saying this, but if someone or something has messed up your internal compass before, those things become like not straightforward. And I don't want to belittle the struggle that you may have had to trust your emotions again, but this is, I think, like one of the biggest lessons in this lifetime. To learn again how to move towards things that make you feel good and validate that emotion, validate that pull, validate that longing, validate that desire. And not need, like, you guys might be, I think it's not so uncommon that we kind of project our relationship with our spirit guides, or project onto our relationship with our spirit guides a dynamic of a significant relationship in our life. So if you had this kind of dynamic in your life where like you constantly had to ask someone's permission to do things, or someone was constantly like felt like they had the right to validate or invalidate your emotions, that could be something that you've internalized, and now you're turning to your spirit guides like, hey, could you please validate or invalidate this emotion that I have? And they're like, no, it's valid. Like it's your emotion, and that belongs to you, and that's beautiful. Or asking like, hey, I feel really good about this, can I move towards it? Like, yes, you can. And it's this feeling of like, you don't have to ask the universe's permission, or you don't have to ask for the universe's validation. This is something that needs to be unlearned in this lifetime. I will say another thing that I think needs to be learned in this lifetime is patience and balancing emotions. You're very persistent, and I think when you want something, you want something. But if that persistence is not accompanied with patience, it can be very, very frustrating. And what I see with these cards here, like all of this Ace of Wands, Ten of Wands, Temperance, Two of Coins, there's a lesson of patience here. It's like you get this spark that you really want something, but if there are obstacles or if it doesn't happen right away, I feel like you might have like a personality where you would get discouraged by that quite easily, and like you would start to question if it's meant for you. The Ten of Wands talks about a burden that is very hard to carry, a burden that is very, very heavy. It can talk about burning out, like giving up because it's just too much. And Temperance is saying, hey, like let's be patient. Let's balance our emotions a little bit. Or in the example of pursuing this relationship or pursuing this soul connection, it could be that your emotions are quite like volatile. If you get a positive message, if you get a positive reading, if you get a sign, you feel very, very good about it. And then if there's been some time where not much has been happening or there's a little bump in the road, you feel very, very bad about it. And if there's one thing that we've learned in this reading is that the way to mastery of your emotions and the way to balancing your emotions is to validate them and to feel them. So this is not to say like, oh, your emotions are going like this, cut it out. No, we want to sit with those emotions. We want to sit with the emotions and understand where they are coming from. It's funny. I think I've used this analogy before of like sitting down with your emotions and pouring them tea and getting to know them. And then I totally forgot about it. And then I was watching an ASO video recently and she like quoted me and I was like, oh, I said that. And I feel like it's so relevant. It's so relevant to this reading again. Your emotions are always trying to bring you valuable information, and there's no such thing as an invalid emotion. So if you're feeling like your emotions are going up and down, if you feel like this journey is tough, if you feel like you're getting discouraged, if you feel like this journey is a roller coaster, it doesn't do you any good to just say like, oh, I need to stop feeling like that. Because the one thing that is going to make a negative emotion persist, if it's one thing I've learned, is trying to invalidate it, trying to discredit it, trying to suppress it. It's going to persist even more. And it's not going to leave until it gets its message across. Because every emotion is trying to tell you something. It's trying to tell you something valuable. Even more uncomfortable ones. And Temperance is also talking about patience that is required with yourself. So rather than saying, I just need to stop feeling this way, I think a lesson for you in this lifetime as well is understanding that however you're feeling, it's okay. However you're feeling, it's valid. And if you want to work through an emotion or heal an emotion, you can do that, but it's not done through bypassing it or shunning it. It's done through understanding it. It's almost like, and this is kind of a weird analogy, but you know when like a house is haunted, we're not gonna get rid of that spirit by just being like, go away, spirit. No, it's here because it has some purpose. It's here because it has something to say. We have to ask the spirit why it's here. We have to ask the spirit what it wants. And once it has been fulfilled, then it can move on to the other side. And your emotions are the same way. You don't get through them by just telling them to go away. Think of it as like a spirit that is in your home. You have to ask it why it's here. You have to ask it what it wants. Or them, I should say. It's interesting that Temperance is here as well, because when it comes to soul connections, I very often see with Temperance that first of all, this soul connection is old as shit. It's very, very old. Like, you're the freaking founders of the Galactic Federation. You've been around forever. And I think you've also had many, many incarnations on Earth. You've kind of seen your way through human history and human civilization. You might have even been incarnating here on Earth before humans were a thing. You might have been like a mammoth or an amoeba or something like that. But I feel like you've been on Earth and you've seen the development. You've seen a lot of things. And now it's time to see yourself. That was kind of cheesy, I'm sorry. But I very often see with this Temperance card, your love journey, your soulmate journey, your journey to union is very much tied in as a package deal with other journeys of your life, meaning that your journey to healing is very closely intertwined with your soulmate journey, your journey to self-love, your journey to material success. It's all very closely tied in. It's almost like you couldn't go on one journey without going on all of the other ones. They're built in together. So for the last card, this Two of Coins, I'm getting the message that this is about some karma, a karmic situation. But I need a couple clarifiers for it. The Fool. Okay, so we're clearing karma. This is between you and another soul, like there's two parties. And you've kind of been, the Two of Coins gives me this feeling of juggling. We're juggling, but we're trying to even out the playing field. I feel like you've been going back and forth with a certain soul. And I feel like it might be someone else. Like there's this soulmate that's been permeating through the reading that we've been talking about. But this is a different relationship. This is a different relationship, and it's like you guys have been trying to like even out your karma, but as you go through lifetimes, it's like, oh shit, now I have to pay a little bit of karmic debt to you, and then try to even it out, and like, oh crap, now I have to pay a little bit back to you. And in this lifetime with the Fool, with the 0, it's like you're breaking even in this lifetime. What is this related to? What karma are you clearing in this lifetime, and with whom? We have the Ace of Swords. Okay, so to clear this karma, it's literally just like a conversation. You need to talk things out with somebody. You need to work things out with somebody. You need to talk things out. You need to be very honest. The Ace of Swords and the Hierophant. So the Hierophant would lead me to believe, first of all, it could be a Taurus person in your life, or an Aquarius person with the Fool. And actually, I could more broadly say an earth sign or an air sign with these cards. But the Hierophant would lead me to believe that this is some sort of authority figure in your life. So I am kind of getting parent vibes. Hierophant does make me think of parents sometimes, because they're like, this is like the people who, this sounds so bad, the word indoctrinated came to my mind, which actually that might be the case. Someone who passed on their traditions to you, their values to you, also could be their religion to you, what is right and wrong, what is the truth. Yeah, I think this is talking about a parent or some kind of older relative, and you need to hash some things out with them to clear some karma. It's probably, I feel like this person might need to apologize to you, or they need to be truthful about something. Like they lied about something. Okay. There's some authority figure in your life who has been judging you, and all the while they've been acting like this perfect person, but they're hiding that they have done the very thing that they're judging you for. Or they're hiding some kind of imperfection and acting like they don't have it. I don't know why this example is coming through, but like, I don't know, let's say there's like a very religious parent, and they're like, you can't have sex before marriage, and then you do that, and they're like, oh my gosh, I can never forgive you, and like judging you very harshly for it, but they did it too. like they had sex before marriage too, and like they're just hiding that from you and they're just on their high horse. Obviously that's just one example, but it's this kind of thing, like they're judging you for something that they've also done, or like they're being very strict with you, but they also have their skeletons in their closet. They also have their past failures, because like, hello, we all do, but they're trying to act like this holier than thou, self-righteous, like I've never done any wrong in my life. And I think this person needs to come forward to you and be honest. Like, I've done this and this and this, and I struggle with this and this and this, and I'm not a perfect person, which you already know that, but it's about being forthcoming with the Ace of Swords. It's about being direct about it. It's about speaking it. So I feel like this karma, like getting to an even playing field, is like over your lifetimes, it's like you've struggled to admit your flaws to each other, or you've struggled to admit your imperfections to each other. And I feel like you've kind of been going back and forth. And your lesson with this soul is to just be completely open. Because deep down, it's like you're both afraid of judgment from the other person. Like the child is afraid of judgment from their strict parent, but the parent is so strict in the first place because they're afraid of their child. They're afraid of being judged by their child. And so to combat that, they lay it on really, really heavy that I'm the authority. I'm the one who tells you what to do. I'm the one who has all the answers. Because they don't want to reveal that the truth of, I also don't know what the heck I'm doing. I'm also a vulnerable human. I might be your parent. I might be your authority figure, but I actually don't know any better than you. I'm just a scared and confused human as well. And so to clear this karma, we have to open up about that and stop acting like we know all the answers. We have to open up and say like, look, I'm not better than you. You're not better than me. And I am not in a position to judge you. And then it's clear. So you'll be working out this kind of dynamic in this lifetime. Wow. And yeah, I feel like this is a little... The word side quest is coming to my mind, which no, this is significant, but it's on the side of like what we've spoken about with this soul connection, what we've spoken about you guys being a go-getter and valuing your passion and going after your joy. But wow, what an interesting specific message to come through at the end. So Sagittarius energy, I forgot to mention. Cancer, Sagittarius, Taurus, and Aquarius are coming through here. But yes, that is all. Group number 1. These are all the messages I am seeing for you, so I'm going to end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and definitely check out Cindy's video as well. Just to recap, in Cindy's video, she will be going further into what specifically can you do in this lifetime? What are the steps to take so that you can learn these lessons? What are the steps that you need to take so that you can move past this karma and so that you can renew the soul contracts that you value? So you will be getting probably some advice on how to come together in this union, how to make this soul contract work, how to release this karmic situation, and how to move forward in the way that you want to, and how to maintain the harmonious connections in your life. So if that sounds like something that you guys are interested in seeing, then Cindy's video will be linked down below. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pickup cards where you get to choose a topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 2, I'm sending so much love to you, much love to your person, your soulmate, into this karmic connection as well. Much love to them, and much love to your spiritual team down at the Federation. Send them my regards, and I thank you so much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye. Hi number threes. So if you guys chose the rose quartz, this is going to be a reading all about your soul contracts, your karma, and your lessons from past lives and how they are affecting you now. So we're going to start off with this tarot deck. This is the Likely Tarot, and we're going to pull 3 cards from here. Basically, I want to pull 1 card to represent the overall energy of your soul, 1 card to represent the energies of your past lives or who you were in those past lives, and then 1 card to represent you in your current incarnation. You may find in this part of the reading that you resonate a lot with the energy of your soul, like it sounds like who you are now. This would be an indication that you're very much in alignment with your higher self. And if you feel that you resonate a lot with the past life messages, it's likely that a lot of common themes or a lot of personality traits from your past life has carried over into your current incarnation. So, without further ado, let's see what we got for group number 3. I think this rose quartz point is so beautiful. I just can't stop looking at it. Okay, so group number 3. What would be a card to represent the overall energy of group number 3's soul? Oh my gosh, it's the star. Oh, that's so beautiful. Okay, your soul has been far and wide. And a card to represent the energy of group number 3's past lives or past life self. We have the 6 of Cups. Okay, and then a card to represent their current incarnation. Is the 9 of Cups. Okay. So I'm going to start off with the star card here, which is so freaking cool. This is the card to represent your soul. Some of you guys might resonate with being a starseed or feel like you resonate more with a place other than Earth. But like I said, what came to my mind with this card is that your soul has been far and wide. I think that you have definitely had a lot of incarnations in places other than Earth. Maybe even, you might even be a little bit unfamiliar to Earth still, or it's just not really your favorite place. I feel like for some of you guys, you're new to Earth, but I think that your soul is very curious. I think that your soul is very enthusiastic and bubbly and excited. I think your soul has a lot of friends as well, because the star is related to the sign of Aquarius, which then relates to the 11th house. And this gives me the vibe of somebody who is very friendly and who has very big circles and very big network. So like, I feel like, of course you have your soul family, but I feel like your soul kind of goes out and likes to meet new souls and expand their social circle, and also to interact with souls who have a very different journey. One thing about that, whoa, my ears just started ringing really loudly. Okay, one thing, that's very loud. Okay. One thing about that Aquarian energy is really embracing people from all walks of life, and even kind of favoring those who are different from you, favoring those who appear unconventional to you, or just appear unique or eccentric in some way. So I think that your soul, it's like your soul makes an effort to meet with other souls who have quite a different life journey than them, quite different values from them, because I think that they understand that this will lead to their expansion. And this might be a trait that you guys have in your current life. You might have a group of friends that is very diverse, or maybe, yeah, like your friends come from all different walks of life, different ages, different cultural backgrounds, different identities, or you might really enjoy to learn about other cultures, other ways of life. And even some of you guys might take that a further step and like advocate for equality, advocate for embracing all types of people, embracing all different walks of life. There can be a little bit of, or there can be quite a bit of an activist or humanitarian sort of vibe to this energy as well. So I think in some lifetimes you guys maybe have been some sort of activist or some sort of like fighter for justice. You helped those who were in need, or you helped minorities, you helped people who didn't have as much of a voice. Maybe in some past lives you were kind of like the odd one out. How can I think of this? Like, I don't know, maybe you were like the only woman in an army or something. Now I'm thinking about Mulan. Or like, maybe you were the only person of a certain race or of a certain ethnic background in a given town. Maybe that would be a little bit more in the olden days. Well, I don't know anything about history, but you might have this kind of recurring theme of being the oddball, or of being the odd one out, of being the black sheep in your lifetimes. But I think that from a soul perspective, your soul doesn't really mind that. And in fact, I think that your soul might be excited to kind of dive into unfamiliar environments and to be surrounded by people who are different from them, because again, they see it as a learning experience. They see it as an opportunity for expansion. And I think during your incarnations, I feel like your soul is very understanding. Like, they would never have hard feelings for humans who would judge them, or incarnated beings who would judge them. They're like, yeah, I get it in the 3D world. Like, it's a little bit scary when someone's different from you, and you know, sometimes it's maybe a little bit harder to be tolerant. I just feel like they're very accepting, and they're very forgiving of the human condition and its difficulties. I think that, I don't know, I guess I want to say that your soul is very pure. Your soul doesn't hold any grudges. Your soul is just excited to be here. That's the vibe that I'm getting from them. Very pure, very wholesome. And we see that carrying over with the Six of Cups as well. The Six of Cups is also like a sign of purity and innocence, and it just gives me this vibe of someone who's very like soft and gentle and sweet. I think that you've definitely taken on a nurturing role in a lot of your past lives, whether that was like standing up and fighting for someone, or something a little bit less extreme. I mean that you carry out this role in many different ways. I feel like you are a protector of some sort. So maybe in some lifetimes you were like out there fighting in a war to protect your people. Maybe in other lifetimes you were like taking care of little children or something like that. But I think you've carried out this role in many different ways. I kind of got a little twinge of sadness when I saw this Six of Cups card from one of your past lives. The first thing that came to my mind is that you might have had a past life where you didn't make it past childhood, or maybe you lost a child. Something like that has come up. So there might be some kind of lingering wounds or lingering sadness from that. There might be lingering feelings of like you want to rush to get everything done, or you feel like there's still so much left to do and you want to make sure that you do everything. Or maybe in this lifetime you have like a really strong longing to have children, or you can feel spirit babies around you, or maybe you have a very close bond with your child if you already have children. But there's something about like a life that was over much too soon that came up when I saw this Six of Cups that gave me kind of a feeling of sadness. But I feel like you guys must have very good karma, because I feel like going through your lifetimes, you're never like spiteful, you're never deceitful. Like, even if someone is being complete trash to you, you will always like kill them with kindness, or you will always just like wish them peace and wish them healing. Like, okay, you clearly have something going on. I hope you get the help you need. And it's almost like you forgive them and you move on peacefully. I feel like you've always just moved through your lifetimes with such integrity and such compassion for other people. Like, you're like an angel. You have such a heart of gold. So I would be surprised if we see like significant karmic debts, because I feel like you've just been such such an amazing human being. You've been such a stellar, like the star, you've been such a stellar person. Like, I just feel such a purity and such a sweetness from you guys, which is very, very beautiful. I do think that you have a lot of past life connections in this lifetime, because the Six of Cups is a card that makes me think of past life connections. So we will probably look into that like further in this reading, what these connections are, but the Six of Cups for me is definitely an indication of that. And then for your current incarnation, we have the Nine of Cups. So this life for you guys is meant to be peaceful, or your mission in this lifetime is to find your peace. I think this will be a lifetime where you will be the happiest. I don't know if living a modest life is the right way to put it, but I feel like if you're in a hustling energy or in a chasing energy, or if you put a lot of value on material things, or like on your level of success or on your status or these kinds of things, it would never bring true fulfillment. So I think a lot of you guys might feel more inclined just to live like a simple life. Live a simple life with your loved ones, with animals, maybe with like a nice garden or something, and just enjoy life's little pleasures. I feel like this is the type of lifestyle that would make you the happiest, and maybe this is something you're going to like settle into later on in your life. You know, sometimes we need to have that chapter of like being a hustler and chasing all of these things to realize like, oh, this is not what makes me really happy in the end. But I feel like you would settle down simply, or you will settle down modestly, or it could be that you guys like, you have this period of your life where you're really successful and you make a ton of money, and then you donate it or you use it to help other people with this star here. But I just get that vibe of someone living simply and cultivating a lot of their happiness from within, and just being, honestly, just being unbothered, just being unbothered and peaceful. And I definitely see you guys surrounded by a lot of loved ones. I see you surrounded by a big family in this lifetime, whether that is the family you were born into, the family you create from here on out, or even your soul family who is not like directly related to you by human blood. That sounds so, sorry, that sounded really like human blood, but you know what I mean. You have a very loving and warm circle around you, and when you're in alignment, you will be living a very, very peaceful life, a life that is very free of stress. And I think that you'll be quite physically healthy as well when you're living in alignment with your higher self. And this is a life in which one of your like purposes and one of your missions is actually to just see the fulfillment of all of your heart's desires. So I hope that you guys know any wish you have, no matter how big or small, is valid. And not only can it come true, but that's a part of your destiny. That's a part of your mission in this lifetime, is to, you know, hold dear those things that light up your heart, those things that you desire the most, and see them come to fruition. So I hope that moving on in this journey, you wouldn't feel like any wish is too big or any wish is too far out there. Same thing with the star, like even wishes that seem so big and unrealistic and too good to be true and this and that, this is the lifetime where they will come true, like your wildest hopes and dreams. So I just hope you guys know that. So let's move on to the oracle cards. Yes, so we're using the Starlight Frequencies oracle deck. We're going to pull a couple more cards to see if there's any other themes or any other information from your past lives that you should know about. Ooh, Diamond Sun Body. You have a gift that no other can offer. Oh my goodness. You are unique and have your part to play in the creation of our new earth. Interesting. So I'm sort of getting the vibe that a lot of you guys were sent to Earth or volunteered to come to Earth to help create a new, is it paradigm? Is that the word? Anyway, to help create a major shift on Earth. You have some knowledge, you have some values, you have some gifts, you have a worldview that is going to greatly, greatly help Earth. And I think, yes, you came here to help make big shifts. Woo. Looking at this Diamond Sun Body, like the word body is standing out to me as well. For one, you guys might be I think clairsentient is the word, where you can receive psychic insights through physical sensations. So you might feel hot, you might feel cold, you might feel tingly, you might feel pressure somewhere in your body. You might actually feel like if your spirit guide like reaches out and holds your hand, or like puts their hand on your shoulder, you might be someone who can physically feel that. But another thing that was coming through with this is that something about like learning to love your body, or working through body issues, that could be a theme of this lifetime as well. And that could also have something to do like with something that has happened in a past life. Oh, okay, so we have, should I take all of these? Sure, let's take all of them. We have universal oneness. We are all in this together. Consciousness is flowing without separation. We act as one. I think one of the big insights that you have that could really help Earth right now is oneness. I also think it's really sweet that we have these animals here, because that was like a really important thing that I saw for you guys in this current lifetime, is that I feel like you're going to settle down with a lot of animals. You might even like rescue animals, or have like a little sanctuary situation. I feel like animals are very important to you guys, and you might have some very deep soul bonds with animals in this lifetime. Like one of your closest soulmates could be a companion animal. But I think oneness is something that you guys just get, and you get it on a deep level. I don't know how to say this without being rude, but you know, I feel like some people kind of just preach this like, oh, we're all one, we're all in this together, because like it makes them look good. But I feel like you guys understand this concept on a deep level. Like I cannot, oh, that makes a lot of sense. That's why you guys don't like wish ill on people, hold grudges on people, like try to get revenge on people, why you try to be understanding, and why in fact you might even have sympathy for those who would like do ill to you, because you're like, I know that you can't hurt me without hurting yourself, and I can't hurt you without hurting myself. And protecting the physical environment, like I feel like the new world that you're bringing in is one where human race is more kind to the planet and understands the interconnectedness of everything. I think there's some powerful, what would you call it, the powers that be right now, who are destroying our earth, and they don't realize like you can't hurt the earth without hurting ourselves, or you can't cause destruction in one corner of the world without affecting the rest of the world. Like I feel like it's just a lot of us, and I'm throwing myself in here, like I'm calling out humans as a whole. Like it just doesn't click, this idea of everything being one. It just doesn't click, and I feel like this is something that you guys just inherently get, and through living as an example, or through sharing this idea, I think you're helping to give birth to a world where mankind and nature and the animal kingdom can truly live in harmony. Wow. We also have, the path, crossroads. Despite your doubt, your path is clear. I love this card so much, because I think a lot of the time we are very much on the right path, but we still doubt ourselves. So this is like your confirmation that there may be doubts in your mind from time to time, but you're doing exactly what you need to be doing. We also have mind, heart, and will. Allow yourself to exist through all your dimensional layers. Yeah, your soul has been far and wide, like I mentioned before. Think freely, feel deeply, and live fully. Wow. Okay, so we have a lot of extra cards here, but I think, okay, I'm gonna put the other ones here. I also want to take a couple from the Universal Oracle deck. I should also mention, I've been thinking of the numbers on these cards as like ages in your life that might be significant. It's interesting that we have 3 here, because that's like such a young age, but there might be a very significant experience that happens to you when you're 3 years old. And I have a feeling it has something to do with like a psychic or paranormal experience, like that you've had this gift ever since you were very, very young. We also have 14, 21, and 33. So let's take a look at a couple of Universal Oracle cards. Explore, experience, adventure, wander, journey. So you guys might have a little bit of a travel bug in this lifetime. And the places that you feel called to visit will likely be places where you have had past lives. I feel like there's quite a few places out there in the world that you will feel very, very oddly familiar with, even though in this lifetime you've never been there. There's like at least 3 places that you would feel super, super familiar. And we also have past, emotional baggage, forgive, move on. Okay, so we are releasing something. We're releasing some baggage from a past life. So I think in this next part of the reading, I want to do a deeper dive into what your soul connections are, because we've seen that you do have quite a few in this lifetime. And I also want to see what this is that needs to be released, this emotional baggage. So now we're going to use the True North Tarot, which is a gorgeous deck. Also, this deck is really gorgeous too. All of these are going to be linked in the description, by the way, if you guys are curious about them. But we're definitely using the aesthetic decks today. They're so, so pretty. Okay, and I'm having a hard time shuffling this, so let's get into it, shall we? Group number 3, we have the Empress. Okay, yeah, a lot of you guys have, it's like a parent-child bond that is really, really significant. So one of your really close soulmates could be a parent, especially a female or feminine parent with the Empress here. It could also be like an aunt, a grandmother that you are really, really close to, a sibling, like a sister that you're really, really close to, or it could be your own child. It could also be a pet that you have, honestly, because the Empress is just this energy of, you know, mothering and nurturing a loved one. So if having children is not in your plan, it could be like a non-human child as well. I also want to, I feel like these have kind of a similar vibe in that they're peaceful and effortless, the Empress and the Nine of Cups. And this was something I saw in another group as well. I can't remember which one it was, but in this lifetime, effortless manifestation is something that is there for you to enjoy. And I think that when you are in alignment, things will be easy for you. Things will be effortless for you. Or as you advance on your path, you'll feel things start to become easier and easier. Something that you might be releasing in this lifetime is the idea that you need to like put yourself through hell to find success or to find happiness, or that you need to like earn comfort, you need to earn joy. And that kind of fits with the theme of, I feel like in this lifetime or in past lifetimes, at some point you would fall kind of victim to hustle culture, or, you know, feeling like you need to work your ass off just to prove that you're worthy, and then realize that those things never make you truly happy. There's something about remembering that and there's nothing wrong with enjoying worldly things and having worldly pleasures and enjoying the finer things in life, but when you start using these things to determine your value, or when they become the only thing you care about, this is when you can really start to hurt yourself. So it's interesting too that we had that message about like physical body or your physical appearance. There could be some baggage about that that's being released in this lifetime as well. It's like there's this big release of like, I spent so many years stressing myself sick about like shit that was never going to make me happy, and things that just pulled me farther and farther away from my fellow humans. Like, we're spending all this time in competition with each other and trying to flex like who has more money or like who has the nicer body, and it just further feeds the illusion that we're separate from each other. Interesting. There was a past life where you guys made a huge difference for your community. You made a huge difference for humanity. Like through some like humanitarian efforts, or I think philanthropic is the word. For example, like helping the poor or helping the oppressed. Or you made some amazing like intellectual advancements. But it's like all people cared about was how hot you were, or like your love life, or, you know, it's like they didn't focus on your contributions and what really mattered. They were just like, oh, you're so hot, or something like that. And some of you guys, this might be like a theme in your current lifetime as well. It's like, why are you talking about like my personal life, my love life, the way I look? Like, this is a workplace, sir. This is a professional situation. People just focusing on, or you guys might have like, you guys might be super, super beautiful, and then there's like shallow people around you who only want to date you for your looks, and they're not interested in getting to know you as a person. That could be something that you guys deal with as well. And so like being overly fixated with looks, it's like something that was thrust onto you, or something that you internalize. We also have the Tower. One of these ages, 14, 21, 33. I guess it could even be the age of 3, but there's like a defining moment that kind of shakes you up, and your life really changes course after that. I feel like it's something that hits you really hard at first, but then it opens your eyes and it frees you. This is just a hypothetical example, so I'm not saying that this is going to happen to you. Like, I don't want to scare anyone, but just a hypothetical example so you can understand what I'm trying to say. This would be like someone having a health scare, or having like being in a really dangerous place where they feared for their life, and then like obviously that's really shocking, but maybe this is like a wake-up call where they realize how short life is, or they realize that they have to live their life to the fullest. Or if it's a health scare, maybe they realize like, shit, I have to change my lifestyle. It's a kind of moment like this, or some kind of loss that makes you appreciate what you do have even more. The cards are definitely taking more time to come out in this group than others. So there could also be a message for you guys about learning how to take things slowly, learning how not to rush, how to stop and smell the flowers. Again, that goes with the peaceful, easygoing life that your soul is hoping for. At the end of all of this is what they're saying. We have the 9 of Wands. Yeah, so there's some part of you guys that feels like you need to prove yourself, or feels like you need to be strong. And in this life, we're letting our guard down, and we're embracing the ease of life. We're embracing the flow of life. We're embracing the universe's timeline, and see how naturally and how effortlessly things flow when we work with that. We also have the Queen of Swords. So you guys have had like an older figure in your life who is unnecessarily strict or unnecessarily judgmental towards you. I was speaking about these examples before of like people discrediting you, people discrediting your successes, there could have also been like a parent figure or a teacher, a mentor figure who was like never satisfied. And I'm hearing like nitpicky, like they would nitpick at like the smallest things. And even in there could have been a focus on physical things like posture, or like how your hair was done, or what you were wearing, or like if you gained 6 grams, or like someone was, it's like micromanaging, or they could have been like really uptight about finances or something like that. I kind of feel like this is a relative who maybe had a really hard life and now they're just kind of on edge all the time, or they have like a severe lack mentality. And it's like, on one hand, you want to be understanding of them because they didn't have it easy, or their parents were like that. But at the same time, it is taking a toll on you. And then we have the 4 of coins, and at the bottom of the deck we have the Hermit. So with this 4 of coins here, I do feel like you guys tend to incarnate with the same souls over and over and over again. Especially, I feel like your family members, your immediate family members, and any companion animals that you have, you tend to kind of travel with them. The number 4 makes me think of family, and the 4 of coins, and 4 also talks about cycles, and the 4 of coins talks about being like persistent and holding on to something. So I think you do have your group that you tend to learn a lot of your main lessons with. And I'm getting a little bit of a vibe from your soul. I just had this image of like your soul wants to go out and explore and like join new groups, and your guide, or like, you know, your primary guide, your primary teacher is like, but you have to finish this lesson here. You have to finish this lesson here with these people. So you might be working through some karma with like immediate family or close friends, or even like romantic partners. I feel like it's kind of the same few souls that show up in your life and that you're working on your lessons with. And probably you guys have picked up on this because we have so much water in your energy, and we also have the star. Anyone who makes you feel very intensely, or anyone you felt a very close and even inexplicable familiarity to, like there's a reason for that. If you feel familiar with someone, if you feel like you have a connection with someone, you literally almost absolutely do. There's like a 99% chance that you do, because I think that your soul does tend to like revisit the same connections again and again, and like work things through with the same people. And that's not to say your soul doesn't like expanding their circle, because we very much know that they do. But when it comes to like karma that you're working through, when it comes to the lessons that you're learning, and it's interesting that there's like a lock here as well. That's maybe there's a contract here. Like you have a contract with a small group of souls, like we're gonna work this stuff out together. Interesting. And then we have the Hermit at the bottom of the deck here. So this is another card that kind of makes me think of black sheep, and I think I said the same thing with the star. So that might be a theme in your life as well. Yeah, it's like you're unfamiliar to Earth, or I don't know if it's that you don't like Earth. At least your soul doesn't dislike Earth. You might as a human, and like that's fair enough, but I don't think it's that your soul doesn't like Earth, but maybe it's just less familiar with it, or you know, not really on the same wavelength. But Earth needs your wavelength. Earth needs someone who thinks like you. I think you guys could be an amazing spiritual teacher, or just an amazing teacher in general. You certainly don't have to pursue that path if that's not something that you feel called to. But I do think that you're incredibly wise, and that a lot of people would resonate with and could benefit from your spiritual teachings and your insights. And with this Hermit as well, there's sort of a feeling of you being free, like of you being released from soul contracts. So I think you're tying up some loose ends with karmic partners in this lifetime. But let's see what comes after that. After you clear up these karmic ties, who's coming in after that? The Tower again, geez, okay. And the Devil, okay. So there's this Tower moment that happens in your life. For some of you, this could be, maybe this has already happened. For some of you, this could be coming up in the future. But I feel like this Tower moment that is happening in your life, it like marks, you see how the hive is like breaking and all the bees can fly free? I feel like it marks the end. It marks the end of these karmic soul contracts, and like you're free to fly away. I feel like you guys have, I don't know why animals keep coming up, but you have a really close soul bond with an animal in this lifetime, or with maybe a child of your own. And I think this Tower moment is also shaking you free from limiting beliefs or restricting beliefs that you have. And I think that one of them is like this feeling like you need to be strong, this feeling like you need to just put up with everything and take care of yourself. And I think like the marked characteristic of new soul connections that will come into your life in this lifetime is that, first of all, these connections are with incredibly generous people, and they would like go out of their way to remind you that you're never alone. We talk a lot about like, you know, don't be afraid to ask for help, or like don't be afraid to open up when you need something. But I think we would be remiss to not speak about the importance of like external encouragement and external validation in those instances. And what I see coming in for you is a loyal partner, or what will come in for you after this Tower moment, because maybe you've already met this person. It's a loyal partner who actively checks in on you, who actively reminds you that you're not alone, who actively checks and rechecks your boundaries, and who is very generous with you, who is very open with you. And so it's like this Tower moment happened to shake you free from karmic connections, to shake you free from past baggage, to shake you free from the devil, which is the toxic thoughts and beliefs that you've internalized. And this partner is here like to play a role in you unlearning this Nine of Wands where you always have to be strong. I am getting the vibe of like a spouse energy. It could also be a very, very close friend. Some of you guys are already with this person, and this is like a confirmation, like, yes, I broke free from my karmic cycle and now I'm in a really, really healthy relationship. But yeah, I'm getting spouse vibes more so. And then I just feel like there's a really significant child too, whether it's a human or an animal. But yeah, group number 3. These are all the messages I have for you guys, so I'm going to end the reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and definitely check out Cindy's video as well. Just for a reminder, in Cindy's video, she's going to be going into advice on how can you break free from these karmic cycles, how can you enter into the soul connections that are going to bring you the most harmony and happiness, how can you heal from your past and move forward. So Cindy's reading is about like what you can do now moving into the future. So if you guys are interested in that, it will be linked down below in the description as well as in the pinned comment. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to that or any of my other songs, the music channel will be linked down below as well. Group number 3, I'm sending you guys so much love, and much love to your spiritual team as well. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye! Hi number 4s, so if you guys chose the Citrine, who is looking very fine today, this is going to be a reading all about your soul contracts, your karma, and your lessons from your past lives and how they are affecting you in this lifetime. So we're going to start off with this tarot deck. This is the Likely Tarot. She is also very beautiful, and we're going to pull 3 cards from this deck. Basically, I want to pull 1 card to represent the overall energy of your soul, 1 card to represent the energy of you throughout your past lives, or the energy of your past lives, and 1 card to represent you in your current incarnation. So if you feel like you're resonating a lot with the overall energy of your soul, this would be an indication that you're very much in alignment with your higher self. And in the same way, if you're feeling like you really resonate with the past life messages, then it's likely that a lot of the main themes and even a lot of your personality traits from past lives have carried over to your current one. As you might be able to hear, the AC just kicked in, because I'm just always so warm. So let's get into it, group number 4. Let me make you a bit less aggressive, actually, because I feel like that's definitely gonna be loud. All right. Group number 4, what would be a card to represent the overall energy of their soul? I just heard the word deliberate. Like your soul is very deliberate when it comes to what kind of life they want to have, where they want to incarnate. I feel like your soul is really an artist when they're crafting your lives. It's not so much that they leave nothing up to chance, because I do think that your soul welcomes unpredictability, welcomes creative liberties from the universe, which is something that I talk about quite a bit. But when it comes to, like, I want to learn this lesson in this way, or I want to have this experience because it's going to serve me in this way, or I want to be born in exactly this place with exactly this family and have these connections. I feel like your soul is very deliberate in that sense, and I think your soul has a very good sense of what it should go through what they should go through if they want to learn a certain lesson, if they want to master a certain area of life, if they want to gain certain wisdom. And so I would say that many significant things you've gone through in life are deliberately chosen by your soul. Like a composer being very, very deliberate about, like, where am I gonna, is that a composer? Where am I gonna put the tubas, and where am I gonna put the violins, and we're gonna have silence in this part. It's like a masterpiece, an elaborate masterpiece that your soul has created. Okay, so we have the Chariot coming out for the overall energy of your soul. Your soul is very independent as well. You, of course, have spirit guides, and they're, of course, always with you, but I feel like your soul just knows what's up. Your higher self is a very, very good guide for you, and I actually feel like when you, for example, when you use divination tools, or when you are asking a higher consciousness for advice, it is more often than not your higher self that is coming through, rather than a third party like a spirit guide or something like that. Basically, I feel with the Chariot that your soul drives themselves very, very effectively. Like your soul has a very good idea of what they want and what action is going to be best for them. It actually makes quite a bit of sense, I think, that this card is coming out. What's making me think this especially is that this is a Chariot card, and yet we just see a lone horse. This horse is like, I know where I'm going. I don't need a human to tell me where to go, you know, because usually there's like the human. Oh, I just saw 444, by the way. There's like the human being like, horses, go this way, ride my chariot. And this horse is like, no, I know where I'm going. So, and maybe even in this lifetime, you guys, I feel like you were a kid who, no offense, but like you were a kid who was smarter than most adults in your life, or like you just kind of knew what was up. You kind of had it figured out more than some adults in your life. There may have been some moments where you question authority, like you question your parents or you question teachers, like, why is it this way? Why do I have to do it like that? And they can't actually tell you why. They're like, oh, that's, you know, that's just how we do it. It's just that way. And you possessing critical thinking skills and being your own person, you're like, that doesn't make sense to me. So I feel like your soul is very independent. Your soul wants to learn things for themselves. And I think this is something that carries through pretty much all of your incarnations. And this isn't necessarily a meaning of the Chariot, but I think you might have a little bit of a rebellious spirit. You might have been a part of some rebellions, of some riots, of some protests, of some revolutions throughout your past lives, kind of challenging the status quo, questioning authority, because you don't do what you're told just because you're told. And this doesn't mean that you're like, oh, I'm going to do the opposite of what you told me to do on purpose because I'm a rebel. But if something doesn't make sense to you, or like if the authority figure cannot explain why you should do this or why it's beneficial, you're not going to respect that just because they're in authority. I feel like that's not really your soul's nature. Like, I'm going to do what makes sense to me. I'm going to do what's best for me. What do you mean? And your soul is right. Like, your soul is usually right. And even I think you are usually right about most things, even in this lifetime. I'm getting Virgo vibes as well, or like especially Mars in Virgo vibes too. I think your soul also has pioneer vibes. Like, when you come to Earth, you're here to make progress. You're here to fuck shit up in a good way. You're here to make progress. Even if it's in a tiny little niche or a tiny little community, you will leave some kind of legacy behind. Even if you were, I don't know why shoemaker is coming through, but even if you were like a shoemaker in a tiny little village and it was like a family-run business, well, like, you'll be damned if you don't change the way shoes are made, or, you know, make some improvement, make them more comfortable, make them more durable, make them more water resistant. Like, you're gonna make some kind of change, you're gonna make some kind of progress, and then your kids are gonna teach their kids, and your shoemaking business is gonna grow. Like, I feel like whenever you come to Earth, you leave some kind of legacy behind, and I think that this lifetime is no different. And it doesn't matter if it's on a big scale or a small scale, because even if it's on a small scale, that's gonna spread after, you know, your time on Earth is done and you leave this Earth. It's gonna spread. Like, someone will carry on your legacy and you'll really make your mark. You may even be like living, how do I say this? Like, living thanks to the legacy of yourself in a past life. I don't know, like, let's say you invented electricity in your past life, and now here you are in a different body enjoying your own invention. Not that electricity was invented, it's just a thing that exists, but you know what I mean, like electric devices and stuff. So you could be enjoying inventions in this lifetime that you helped create in a past life, or like enjoying certain political freedoms that you helped bring in a past life. I feel like you're benefiting from your own efforts What an icon. You're like reaping the rewards of your labor over several lifetimes. I love that for you. Okay, let's get another one. Another card to represent the energy of your past lives up until now. We have the moon. Interesting. So something in a recent past life has kind of made you lose your mojo, or has made you doubt, everything we've been speaking about right now is your essence. It's the essence of your soul. It's the experiences that you've had throughout your incarnations. The moon is telling me that something in recent lifetimes has kind of made you like forget who you are, forget your mojo, forget that you're this badass pioneer who's independent, who doesn't have to do what you're told, who can make things happen, who can make progress, who can cause a revolution, who can birth beautiful inventions into the world and make your mark. Like, you're a very, very powerful being. And something in recent past lives has started to make you doubt that. These are both water signs. This is Cancer energy. This is Pisces energy. So I do think that you guys as a person and also as a soul are quite sensitive. So this could have been something that happened in a very significant relationship that kind of put a damper on your spirit, that kind of made you start to doubt yourself. I feel like you guys, when you care about someone, I think it's easy for you guys to be like, oh, screw what society says. But if someone close to you, I feel like someone close to you has hurt you or made you doubt yourself in a past life. Let's take a look at the current you. Okay, so for the current you, we have the Three of Wands. Okay, so this is the lifetime where you're getting it back. The Three of Wands, it gives me the feeling of someone who is confident, who is bold, who is not afraid to come out of their comfort zone, who is committed to their expansion, and who has honestly a lot of rewards waiting for them. This tells me that you are going to do big things in this lifetime. You're likely going to be very creatively gifted in this lifetime. And creative doesn't necessarily have to be about the arts. It means that you have original ideas and you're going to make something in this lifetime that leaves an imprint on the world, whether it's like a product, a website, a book, art, a building. Like, you're gonna make something, you're gonna build something and leave your mark. So you're getting back your mojo, you're getting back to who you are. Something kind of made you lose your footing for a while in recent past lives where you're like, you stopped thinking that you were that bitch, gender neutral, by the way. And you're remembering that again in this lifetime. And you're starting to create abundance again. So yeah, Cancer, Pisces, and then Three of Wands is Sun in Aries. So these could be your placements in this lifetime, or maybe those were your past life placements. So there's a couple more oracle cards or oracle decks that I want to use in this part of the reading. A couple other things I can mention with the Three of Wands. I think you're going to reach, when you're like in the peak of your life, it's like everyone's going to want a piece of you. Everyone's going to want to work with you. Everyone's going to want to pick your brain. You're going to be very attractive to, I want to say, the masses, or very attractive to many people. I think you'll also have many people who are romantically interested in you when you're in alignment, because there's something about your confidence and your creativity that is so alluring. There's something about seeing like the contrast in the people you attract, like at different stages in your life. I want to be careful with this wording, because when I say people you attract, this isn't like putting fault on you or putting responsibility on you or anything like that. But I think that when you're in your confident, independent energy, you kind of scare away, like when you're in this moon energy, I feel like Energy vampires might kind of flock towards you because they're like, ooh, vulnerability. But when you're in this confident, independent energy, those types of people get scared because they're like, oh, I can't mess with you, or you see right through me. So you might notice like a significant shift in this lifetime. Like you're going through a shift, you're going through an awakening, and the types of people who try to like come towards you and who try to initiate connections with you, you're gonna notice a big shift in that when you start embodying this confident, creative, independent energy. I also sometimes see with the Three of Wands relocation. So there might be a significant relocation in this lifetime. And quite often, I feel like the Three of Wands indicates kind of a long distance relocation. And also for some reason, it indicates passive income to me, as well as like writing something or publishing something. Okay, so we have, ooh, amplified power with the number 44. And didn't I see 444? I did. I saw, and this is group 4. I just noticed that as well. Yeah, 444 on the camera timer, and here we have number 44. So this is your magic number. Your energy is being amplified. You hold the power of the ascended masters. All of this gold color is making me think of abundance. Like you, yeah, like, and these gold hands, like everything you touch turns into gold. I feel like you guys are good at so many things. You might be a quick learner, or you're just a natural at very many things. And I also think that you might be very good at something that you do with your hands. Writing just keeps coming up for some reason. Writing, playing an instrument, making crafts, making furniture, making ceramics, sewing, typing. There's obviously so many things. It could be a sport like tennis, you play with your hand, and other stuff. What else do we have? Tarot. I do this very much with my hands. We also have Lords of the Records. The archive of your soul information is open and ready for you to access. You can now align more deeply with your soul purpose. Woo! So this is definitely a lifetime. Oh, and I'm not sure that this is something that you've done a lot in previous incarnations. I definitely think that you have been a psychically gifted human in your past lives with the moon card here. But perhaps you didn't have the right environments to really cultivate that. Maybe you were in like heavily religious environments, or just environments that didn't believe in anything, or you didn't even know that this esoteric side of life was a thing. It was just never taught to you, or you could have just doubted your gifts very much. But I feel like this is one of the first lifetimes where, as like an incarnated human, you're really opening up to your spiritual side. And maybe even you who's watching this video right now, we might have some kings and queens and royalties watching this video right now who, like, you're just kind of new to spirituality or new to tarot readings, because I do see those kind of comments sometimes, like, I was never really into tarot and then I just started getting into it, or like, I've never even seen this kind of video before and it just randomly got recommended to me. I was never a believer, and like, you know, this kind of thing. I feel like it's kind of new to your soul. Not being psychic is not new to you. And you've definitely had that gift in past lives, but having that awareness of it and embracing it, and having the vocabulary to describe what you're experiencing and what you're going through, having the divination tools to explore your gifts further, and really like actively walking on that journey. I do feel like that's maybe something that is new to your soul in this lifetime. You've definitely always had the intuition, definitely, and it's probably actually helped you a lot in your past lives. Prophetic dreams are coming to my mind pretty significantly. Like, we shouldn't get on that plane tomorrow, Papa, like, it's dangerous, or like, that, I don't know why I said it like that, or like, no, we should buy the house that is number 259, we have to live in that house, or like, you should buy this lottery ticket. I feel like you've been able to do that, or just have these moments of like really deep and inexplicable instinct throughout your lifetimes, but maybe just like wrote it off as a fluke, or I feel like maybe you never really explored it further. And that might be a common theme in this lifetime as well, where like you hadn't really given it much thought and you're just really starting to dig deeper into it more. And I think your spirituality is aligned with your soul purpose in some way. And it makes sense because you guys are going to make something, create something, invent something in this lifetime. And you might actually be channeling it. That's so cool. Okay, let's use the Universal Oracle cards now to see what other information we can get for you. I should also mention, because I've been mentioning this with the other groups, the ages 44 and 35 could be significant for you guys. And maybe that's actually a window, like from your mid 30s to your mid 40s is going to be a very fruitful time in your life. I think that's when you're going to be at your peak, when you're going to be your most attractive, most healthy, most vibrant. So if you haven't reached these ages yet, that's definitely something you can look forward to. Okay, we have essence and stability. It's funny because I had this kind of idea going through my head of like, you guys might settle down a bit later on in your life. And like, oh, I just looked up and saw 2121. It's so funny because I was gonna say you might like travel the world before you settle down, and then 21 is the card of the world. And the Three of Wands was making me think that as well. And you have this independent energy to you. I feel like you guys might, like if getting married and having a family and stuff like that, if you haven't done that already and that's something that you want to do, I feel like that might come later on in your life, because when you're younger, I feel like you're just going to want to be free and travel the world and pour your energy into your creations, and kind of settle down later. That's the general vibe that I'm getting. I feel like when you're really in alignment, you're like not so concerned about getting committed or getting a partner. There's like this independent kind of energy. And then when these cards fell out, this diamond made me think of a diamond ring. So I'm like, oh, okay, I am supposed to say this message. Sometimes I'm not sure if it's like relevant enough for me to say it, like if it applies to enough people in the group. And then cards will, without fail, come out to be like, no, that was a message you were supposed to say. So this diamond made me think of like a wedding ring, and then trees make me think of family. So yeah, if you're not, or maybe you are married with a family now and it did happen later in your life, but I feel like that's the general vibe for this group. Not everybody, but the general vibe. And I wanted to say with that, like, there's no such thing as getting married late anyway, because there's no standard age to get married. And anyone who says there is, that is baloney, because you can literally get married at any age. And okay, we have soul, authenticity, ooh, signature vibration. I love that, because this is the lifetime where you're getting back your essence. And with stability coming out at the same time, it's like you're getting your essence back and nobody can take it away. We had a little scary moment there where someone thought they could come and tell us that we're not who we think we are and we're something else and we're not as powerful as we think we are. But boy, what are we gonna find in this lifetime that couldn't be farther from the truth? And this time we're keeping that lesson. And I feel like you're never gonna lose your essence again. You're never gonna lose yourself again. That is secure in you. And we also have, dependency, addiction, attachment, toxicity. That's so interesting, because that was another thing that I'm like, should I say this? just going back to this energy of you guys not feeling the need to like be committed to someone or be attached to someone or settle down, at least when you're younger. I feel like when you're out of alignment with your essence, you might feel a kind of codependent energy, or you might feel like an unhealthy attachment to love interests or things of that nature. I feel like, I don't know, I feel like in this lifetime, like your best connections might come later on in your life. Like when you're into your 30s. That's kind of the vibe that I'm getting. I feel like when you're younger, you're meant to be free, you're meant to explore, you're meant to find yourself. Again, I keep saying this is the overall vibe that I'm getting, because by no means does it have to apply to every single person, but that is like the general vibe that I'm getting for this group. And going back to this moon card, we spoke about maybe there's like a karmic past life connection. I do believe it was a significant relationship, and as a result of it, you started to kind of question who you were or feel less powerful than you really are. That person might have been somebody who like struggled with some kind of addiction or struggled with some kind of substances, whether it was a family member or a significant other. But I think this might be a past life connection that still kind of holds, or that you hold a little bit of baggage from, and that you'll be releasing in this lifetime. So let's switch the deck now. This is the True North Tarot. And I think I want to see, we've seen quite a bit about like your lessons in this lifetime and what you'll accomplish. So let's look more into your soul contracts and your karma. Okay, we have the Knight of Wands. The Ten of Wands. The Sun. The World, which we referenced earlier. And then we have the Five of Coins, and at the bottom of the deck we have Strength. So first of all, there's a lot of fire energy here. We have two Leo cards with Strength and the Sun. We have the Aries card here with the Three of Wands. The Ten of Wands, I believe, is Sagittarius. Yes. And then the Knight of Wands is all fire signs, or I think. Anyway, there's a lot of fire. There's a lot of fire happening here. So you guys could be a fire sign, or a very significant person or people in your life could be fire signs. And then we also have Cancer and Pisces from before. But you definitely have a very, very close soulmate out there. Strength, I think this came up in a different group, but I was mentioning about how for me this card is like people whose souls are best friends and they've been together since, and that's really sweet because your soul is independent, you know? Your soul likes to travel independently, but I feel like you do have this one best friend, you have this one companion who you will incarnate with again and again and again. Strength also makes me feel like soulmates who would take on like so many different roles together. Like you've really seen everything together. So you've been lovers in some lifetimes, you've been friends, you've been business partners, you could have been freaking animals together in one lifetime, or like a human and an animal, but you find some way to be together and try out different dynamics. So this is a very, very significant soulmate in your life. They're coming out at the bottom. So when we're doing this spread about like your karma and your soul contracts and things of that nature, and I think of the bottom of the deck energy as like the overarching energy, I feel like this is saying like this is your biggest soul connection. This is going to be your happiest soul connection. And I feel like your main, I guess you could say it's like karma, like you keep paying back to each other. I feel like you guys help each other through tough times in your lifetimes. So like they'll help you out, and then in the next lifetime you'll help them out and like pay them back. So it's like paying back positive karma, you know, not like, oh, you hurt me and now you have to get your karma. It's a very happy kind of karma to be reaping and sowing from each other. Of course, you're both going to help each other in every single lifetime, because otherwise that would just be one person giving and one person taking. But I feel like in this lifetime, it is this soulmate's turn to kind of help you out in a major way. Basically, to help you out at a turning point in your life. And the example that is coming to me is like, if you guys won an award for like best friends ever, or like best soulmates ever, in your acceptance speech, like this is the moment that you would bring up. Like, I remember when I was at my worst, when I was at the crossroads in my life and no one was there for me and you came and helped me. Like, it's the big moment. And in this lifetime, they are coming into your life and helping you in your big moment, in your time of need, in your crossroads. And we can kind of see this like a story. We can kind of see this like a story here. Actually, I can read this whole freaking thing like a story. But I think that there's going to be a point in your life where you have a brilliant idea. You know, this, what you're meant to create into the world. You have a brilliant idea, but no matter how you try, or no matter who you ask for help, you just can't seem to get it off the ground. And with the world here, yeah, there's travel involved in your life for sure. And I just heard like on a whim, you decide to move to this other place. It could be like a whim, like I'm just gonna go to this place. Or it could be like you've always kind of had it in the back of your mind. You've always wanted to go there, but one day you're just like, screw it, I'm going, I'm doing it. But you make this bold move, and you're struggling with your ideas, you're struggling financially. It's like you can't get this project off the ground. You can't get this career path off the ground. You're struggling. And this is where with the Queen of Coins, Mr. Strength comes and enters in and helps you out. I do believe you'll be helping them out in this lifetime as well. It looks like this soulmate will be helping you out kind of like from a security perspective, security, stability, material type of perspective. And I think that you, with your spiritual insights and with your soul searching insights, you'll be able to help out this person as well. And it's interesting. I kind of see this dynamic quite a bit in counterparts, where like before you come together, one has kind of mastered like the material side of things, and one has kind of mastered the spiritual side of things. And then like you come together and now you've mastered both, because you just swap or share. You just give each other what you've mastered, and you guys get it, right? I don't know why that's so hard for me to explain. But yeah, it's like one person got really good at making peanut butter and one person got really good at making jelly, and you come together and you can have all the peanut butter and jelly sandwiches you want. Okay, let's move on. So this is kind of how I see this union playing out. So this person might be yet to come into your life, or you're already with this person and you're like, yeah, that's my baby, that's my best friend. But yeah, it's like number 5 represents a turning point. It represents this kind of defining moment in your life. Like, am I going to keep going, or am I going to give up? Am I going to keep going, or am I going to choose another direction? So this person could be coming into your life like right when you're about to give up. Let's say, you've moved across the world, or you've moved to the big city, and just around when you're thinking like, I don't know if this is going to work for me. Maybe I should go back home, or maybe I should try a different project, or maybe I should just go back to my other job, or something like that. It's like in that split moment, this is where Strength person swoops in, and this is where your journey starts. As for karmic connections that I see in your life, again, I feel like this is something that you would go through when you're younger. Interestingly, we have like 18, 19, 21. So like late teens, early 20s, there might be a significant karmic partner in your life, might be the person who influenced this moon energy in a past life. But this is someone who on the surface, it's like, okay, how can I describe this? You guys at your essence are very confident, right? You're very confident, you're very fiery, passionate, enthusiastic, funny, charming. This is your essence. And I feel like this person, when you meet them, they portray all of these qualities on the surface. And this could be for one of two reasons. And one of them is a little bit more like malicious. One reason could be that this is just their like defense mechanism, you know, like deep down they're actually kind of insecure, they're actually kind of shy. So they just portray themselves as this larger than life character, you know, like, woo, I'm the life of the party, I'm charming, I'm funny, I'm confident. And they put on this persona to hide a more insecure version that lies within. This is like the not malicious one, right? Because it's just like, I'm just protecting myself, and I feel for that. Another version of it is like, this person could read you and decided to portray a persona that they knew you would like, that would get you attracted to them, that would get you attached to them. So if they see that you're a very creative and passionate and radiant person, they're gonna put on exactly, like, match that kind of persona to like, to lure you in, or be the type of person that you inspire to, or at least present themselves that way. And I do feel that some people who chose this group, like, your karmic partner is the latter, like, is the more calculated, I guess I could say, the more calculated version of that. So you become infatuated, but you're really falling in love with your essence being shown to you. Not that this person can replicate your essence. Let me just be clear right there. But it's reminiscent of qualities that are within you. It's reminiscent of what you can be and what you truly are on the inside. What you're really after, what you're really longing for is yourself. So in some ways, I guess this karmic connection could teach you more about self-love, could teach you more about soul searching, could teach you more about whatever it is you're looking for in a partner. Become that. Or the qualities you love in a partner is what you truly have the potential to become. It may be this kind of lesson that this karmic partner taught you. But I feel like once you did get into the relationship, it was completely one-sided. And that's such a stark contrast from your soulmate connection, because we saw this beautiful reciprocity, helping each other out, sharing with each other, like this infinity symbol. Whereas the 10 of Wands is like totally one-sided. One party is carrying all the burden. So it's like they lured you in with their persona, and then they gave nothing. Like they were giving you nothing, or they will. And if you guys are in this connection right now, like if you're in a connection that sounds like this right now, I do believe this is a karmic connection. I do believe that this person is here to teach you something, and not necessarily to be a forever person in your life. And if you're in this 10 of Wands energy right now, where you're giving everything, you're putting in all the effort, you're pulling all the weight, and you're like hoping for that to get better, I personally don't feel super optimistic about that, at least from what I see here. And I think that you have, no matter how old you are, it's like you have a lot of life ahead of you, and you have amazing things coming your way, and there will be more beautiful, healthy connections in your future. This sun card in this deck to me looks like a sun rising after a long night. So it's like whatever pain you've gone through in this karmic connection, the sun will rise again. And I love that the sun is an eye, because it's like the sun rises and you can see clearly, you can see the truth. The sun is also like a pure and stripped down. It's on, usually on the card we would see a naked child, the child representing like purity, transparency, innocence. The sun means everything is exposed. It's like you're getting that clarity of who you truly are and what you truly want. When you were in the dark, you couldn't see that. I feel like this is a connection that you're gonna come out of, that you're gonna move on from, that you're gonna wake up from, like snap out of the spell that this person put you under, whether it was intentional or not. But I see very clearly like karmic connection that we're getting over, and then a beautiful soulmate connection. I'm just gonna take a couple more cards because I feel like I've pulled a couple extras for every group. Anything else that group number 4 needs to know? We have the 4 of Wands. Divine union, happiness, like the greatest happiness you could ever imagine. It looks like 1111, and this is card number 11. So this is probably a life partner, like a spouse, lifelong friend. Oh my gosh, and the world again. And you might be different nationality than this person, different background, different like mother tongue or something like that. Ooh, wait, let me, oh gosh. No, there's a lot of animals that are like associated with the Chinese zodiac, so that will be, sure. I'm just gonna name some years. Year of the Tiger is 1998, 1986, 1974, 1962, 1950. The year of the rabbit is 1963, 1975, 1987, 1999, and horse 1990, 2002, 1990, 1978, 1966. Yeah. I don't know, I saw Chinese zodiac animals and I felt like they might be relevant. So that could be a birth year of you or this significant person who's coming in. And also fire signs and water signs are coming through very, very strongly in this reading. This is also Aries. This is Venus in Aries. So there's a lot of Aries energy and Leo energy specifically, which is kind of cool. But oh gosh, there's a snake too. Anyway, I'm not gonna list a bunch of years again, but you could look up Year of the Snake if it's of interest to you. It's 1989 and like plus or minus 12 years, like, yeah. Anyway, that's all for group number 4. I'm gonna end your reading here. Thank you very, very much for letting me do this reading for you. I hope you have a wonderful day or night whenever you're watching, and I wish you all the best. Please take good care of yourself, stay healthy. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you feel like doing that, and definitely check out Cindy's video as well. Just for a reminder, in Cindy's video, she's going to be giving advice on what you can do to break free from these karmic cycles, what you can do to heal from past life baggage, this self-doubt that you may be experiencing, to believe in yourself and your gifts more, and what you can do to bring in this harmonious soul connection moving forward. So for advice and predictions from here on out, definitely check out Cindy's video. It will be linked in the description as well as in the pinned comment. I also have a Patreon, so if you guys are interested in seeing even more exclusive pick-a cards where you get to choose the topic, that will be linked down below too. And I have a music channel. The song that you guys heard at the very start of this video was an original song, so if you're interested in listening to the full version of that song or any of my other ones, the music channel will be linked down below for you as well. Group number 4, Citrines. I'm sending you guys So much love to your wonderful soulmate as well, and to your spiritual team. Thank you very much for being here. I really appreciate your support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.